Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, this is like a little bit of a more unconventional video today. Hello, my name is Zachary Nolan. Cardinal is behind the camera.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to do this because this is a very Jets-centric video, and it wasn't a game review or game reaction. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll do it. And if anyone's wondering why I didn't talk about the Dirty Ben trade, I did. We put it in our No One Hockey podcast. It is timestamped when we talk about it, so go check that out. But anyway.
Talk about all the trade deadlines.
Yes, all of them. So anyway, we might want an intro for this at some point if we keep getting Jets news or whatever, but you know.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah, like, it is what it is. So here's what we're going to talk about. So Adam Lowry has re-signed with the Winnipeg Jets, or in other words, had a contract extension as he was on his last year of a $2.9916 million contract. I don't know how long it was for, and he is now re-signed for 5 years at a cap hit of $3.25 million, which means that the Jets have pretty much locked him up for the foreseeable future. Now, I have actually taken the time to watch Adam Lowry's interview about this, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of factors and a lot of a knockdown effect from this signing that we need to get into and need to address, because it's not just about the signing itself, it's what it represents. So first off, Adam Lowry wants to play here. That needs to be said right now. Adam Lowry signed this contract
and
because
he signed a modified no-trade clause?
I
heard that there was a modified no-trade clause in play.
Okay, so let me see here. It doesn't show up on Capfriendly right yet. I could look and see.
I think it was NHL discussion.
Tell me it now, eh? Okay, so it's not showing up. I wouldn't go against that though.
I wouldn't be surprised about it either.
Let's see here. Let's see. He's gonna have a. Nope. No modified, no trade clause in here.
Like no for sure, or just...
Oh, it says unconfirmed. But once the details are opened, are more available to public. But anyway, that's irrelevant right now, respectfully. And I don't want to get distracted on this. But anyway, as I was saying, so what does this say? So first off, he wants to be in Winnipeg. He wants to play in Winnipeg. He's played his entire career as a Winnipeg Jet. I believe he maybe played 1 year as Atlanta, but I know he was here no, I don't think so. No, he was drafted here by the Jets and stayed as a Jet for pretty much the foreseeable future, as far back as our first playoff run against the Ducks that lasted 4 games. Yes, I'm 95% sure we drafted him.
I thought he played in Atlanta.
No, because I don't remember him on the opening night. I feel Carter. Anyway, this is irrelevant. This is completely irrelevant, and it's just gonna waste time. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So, huh?
Oh, I just thought I'd bring it up.
Fair enough. Nope. All of his contracts were signed. The earliest back contract that I see here is on 2013. But anyway, moving on to important things actually. So Adam Lowry wants to stay in this organization. He knows a lot of people in the organization. He's familiar with the coaching staff. His father is actually the assistant coach now for the Winnipeg Jets. So of course he's planned roots in Winnipeg. Now what else does this say? Adam Lowry was not sure about testing free about the UFA market, which is interesting because I actually would argue that he probably would pull quite a bit of money. I think he could have made. It's interesting because if you look at this, right? So we let Brandon Tanev go in free agency a couple years back for about a $3 million year for 6 years, which is interesting when you think about it because we would then sign Lowry to a $3.25 million hit for 5 years. Now there are differences though in that. First off, Tanev had a no movement clause in there. Way to go, JR, you idiot. And also, Tanev played a fundamentally different game than Adam Lowry does. And I'm just comparing it because those are the best two comparables because those were former line mates. Lowry is a shutdown forward who's good in the faceoff circle and kills penalties. A lot of penalties. He's a grinder forward. He's a physical presence, and that is welcomed in the roster.
And
now,
that is something that we need.
Yes. Now, that being said, someone might look at this and be like, well, his career high is 29 points on the season in an 82-game season. How can you tell that this would be worth the money it was worth? I would argue that it is not necessarily what he's doing on the scoreboard, but what he is doing on the ice surface that matters more. He is always a guy who is a heart, almost like, I don't want to say the heart and soul of Winnipeg Jets, but he gives the Jets a pulse sometimes in games that they are out of this. He's gotten into fights. Think back to that comeback against the Vegas Golden Knights. He got into a fight with Reeves. He kicked his ass. Good.
I can't remember which game it was. I think it was against Arizona, I believe.
Yes. We were there. We were both there.
Yeah.
It was his first game back. He fucking decked the guy, then got into a fight, and we were fucking losing it. Yes. Anyway, moving on. I'm already 6 minutes in, Carter. I gotta keep it going. So, as I was saying, no, but, like, he plays a very physical game, and is there a drop-off? Maybe? Perhaps. He will be ending the contract when he is 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34 years old. It's a bit meh. So let's just hope physical forwards don't fall off a cliff too badly. That being said, though, if you're going to have a contract that maybe doesn't age perfectly well, having it be less than $3.5 million, not bad. Compare that to the contracts that we looked at that were annoying. The Perreault contract, which for a while was really annoying. The Little contract wasn't great. And the Kulikov contract, all of those made significantly higher cap hits than this one does. So there's less room for regression and issue there. Now, what does this say as well about Adam Lowry? Well, Adam Lowry is a key piece of the penalty kill, and we need this. But however, here's the thing. I panicked when I heard this because I don't know if maybe the agent said you need to sign a contract now or never, because I know that Lowry wasn't really keen on testing the UFA market, because even though I think he would have sold for I think he could have sold for at least $500K more, and with a no movement clause to boot, that would have been a better, more enticing offer to him, especially in lower tax areas. Looking at you, Tampa, Florida. But anyway.
Or even the Panthers
yes.
now, because they're doing good.
Well, yes, Tampa, Florida. But yes.
Not just Tampa.
Yes, but anyway. The thing is, though, is that because he signs, he now needs to be protected, I think, during the Seattle expansion draft. Now, if I'm wrong, then not much really changes. Here's why. So, if he doesn't need to be protected, if he didn't sign yet, if he waited till after the expansion draft to sign, because then Seattle can't draft him because he has no contract, he can immediately go to UFA market by my logic and then just sign with someone else. But if that's incorrect, then think of it this way. No matter what, we've, as Jets fans, have come to an agreement that we know who Seattle's eyeing. And it was always going to be either Lowry, which was the low bet, Kopp, which was the favorite, or Appleton, which was always on the radar. We are going to lose either Kopp or Appleton, I think, in expansion draft. And honestly, here's something that might be get a little bit of a negative reception. I think it's okay. Here's what I don't like, and I don't like seeing them go, but you know what? It has to happen. It doesn't have to happen, but it might be what's best for the long run. And I'll explain why, okay? So, Kopp has now... So, let's pretend we're not getting Stastny back next year. I think that's been an overall assumption that we won't be able to re-sign Stastny. And that's okay. That's fine. You know what, Stastny? He's done the work in as a Winnipeg Jet, and I don't think we can re-sign him for a high enough cap, for a proper cap hit, and that's fine. If he re-signs cheap, I'll take it, but he would then have to realize that he's playing a reduced role. That's all we need to know. And honestly, Stastny, in his later years, I can see him playing as low as the fourth line. But you know why he needs to play there? Because the youth needs to be given the proper opportunities to shine. I like the defensive prospects this team has. I am hesitant about the offensive prospects this team has. And here's why. We have a great offensive core, but they need to adapt. They need to be more adapting and evolving as time goes on. Using the same 6 guys for about what's going to look like about the next 4 years, till 2024, I'd say. That's when Scheifele and Wheeler's contract ends, and then you'll probably part ways with Wheeler, who will probably retire around that time, if I'm being honest, because he's getting old. And Scheifele, you'll have to give a big pay raise to. That's okay, because it's Mark frickin' Scheifele. He is the franchise player he was arguably the best franchise player that this entire team has been built around, in my way. He was the first ever draft pick. Yes. Yep. Anyway, but this is the thing. You need to be able to inject your offensive youth into the roster. But the problem is that with Appleton and let's admit, we all know Lowry isn't going to move up from the third line. So that's okay. But Copp and Appleton have flirted with that position. Especially Copp. But Andrew Copp is 26 years old, and Mason Appleton's 25. So there's only so many open roster spots for those two guys to take. But then you can't have your rookies be thrown into your fourth line, your third line. That doesn't help their development properly. Maybe the third line. But you can't throw them in on the fourth line. Because exposure is important. Good players won't produce as much with less minutes. That's just a fact. And so, who is the guy that we know is coming up eventually? Cole Perfetti. Who is the guy we'd like to see get a chance in the roster more often? Christian Vesalainen. And Jansen Harkins, arguably. I would say that I would like Jansen Harkins to play fourth line. Minimum. And you know what? It's not because Harkins is a bad player. It's because that suits his skill style. He's not flashy. He's not going to dangle through the entire team. He's just going to put his head down and skate hard for the puck. Go for it. Because let's be honest, long term, Lewis is only getting older and Thompson's only getting older. Perreault, we're probably not re-signing. If we do, you know what? Based on the year he's having, maybe I'd be okay with it, but I'm not sure. But this could be a changing of the guard type thing. And you know what? I haven't looked enough into the AHL prospects. Honestly, if you want to check somebody who does do that, go check Peg City Hockey. He goes in depth on those things. And he puts in the work. And he actually posted a video about the Adam Lowry thing too. Shorter than mine, but I like to rant. But the point is this. I don't think Seattle, unless we trade away a first-round pick, Seattle's taking either Copp or Appleton. Now, who would I rather than pick? Oh, this is hard because they're both RFAs. Copp is 1 year older than Appleton, and their point totals have both been breakout seasons, and arguably both of them could be able to hit 35 to 40 point seasons in a 82 game season. It's that good. If it was an 82 game season, yes. So right now, for example, Lowry is at 20 points, which is an upgrade on his 10 points last season. Appleton is up to 20 points as well, which is an upgrade on 8 points last season as well. Copp, however, is up to 34 points on an upgrade from his 26 points last season. Now, here's the thing. I guess I'd keep Copp over Appleton, but I love them both. They play great roles. Here's the thing, though. Appleton is good he's a good defensive forward like Copp is. They play a lot of the time at the same time. However, Copp is more of a Swiss Army knife. Now, and this is how I'll compare it. Copp on the power play looks more comfortable than Appleton on the power play. He does. He just does. And maybe you could boil that down to how much more structured the first power play unit is over the second power play unit. And you know what? That's a fair argument. That being said, though, Copp excels in the role that he plays. So I guess I'd have to pick Copp over Appleton. And that will be a conversation we have to have come expansion draft time. So yeah, honestly, I just wanted to get all these opinions on it. Again, I like this deal. it's a low risk gamble. Because what happens if he doesn't play really well? Great. Then put him on the fourth line, and he's only making $3.5 million. He's only making $3.25 million. That's buyout material.
He's not even
if you need to.
What?
He's making $3.25 million.
Okay, sorry, you said it the other way around. You're like, he's only making $3.5 million. He's not even making $3.25 million.
Yeah. I know. I realize that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, especially if you got this far. I enjoy doing videos like this. Also, big shout out to Carter who designs these thumbnails. We work together trying to think of ideas, and Carter always puts them together and excels at the craft, just like the last video one that he did. I fucking love that design, my dude.
Damn fucking right I do.
You did a great design. You did it great. I sent you the photo. You delivered, my man. And yeah, if you are new to this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe, because honestly, we'd really appreciate it. We're trying to hit 350 by the end of the month. We've got all the way up to 338, which is amazing. Yep. Thank you so much for all your support.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to leave a like on this video so that everyone else, it kind of just helps it get around the community more and more often. And don't forget to comment your thoughts on this re-signing, the contract, what the ramifications could mean. I answer everyone in the comment section. And I respect all differing opinions, because we are not always going to agree on this, but I will always respect your right to try to tell me what you think about it. And I get it. It's fine. It's totally fine. Also, we're going to be releasing a Mighty Ducks video tomorrow during the day, so if you watch the Ducks, go check it out. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Money, 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 money.